in the heart of London's eerie streets, where fog veiled the moonlit nights and shadows danced menacingly upon crumbling facades. A tale whispered in hushed tones shrouds the city. It is a story that drips with anguish and despair, lurking in the darkest corners, forever haunting the cursed souls who dare to delve deeper into its dreadful depths. Deep within the chronicles of London's macabre history, there existed a legendary demon known as Abazu. She was no ordinary demon, she was the epitome of terror, a fearsome entity unlike any the world had ever seen. In a realm where nightmares bled into reality, she embodied the darkest desires of humanity, fueled by her longing for what she could never possess. Abazu was said to be barren, a tragic curse that ate away at her heart like a ravaging fire, consuming her every ounce of happiness. The twisted whispers in back alleys and hidden corners claimed that she emerged from the shadows of her barren existence, driven by envy for those blessed with the gift of life, as the embodiment of their deepest sorrows and unfulfilled aspiration. She sought to inflict her wretched curse upon the living, her jealousy transmuted into a grotesque hunger, a yearning that drove her to commit acts of unspeakable horror. The city became a haunting ground, a forsaken labyrinth that echoed with the cries of both the living and departed. Expectant mothers trembled with fear, clutching their swollen bellies while praying desperately that they would not fall victim to Abazu's wrath. Whispers of Abazu's malevolence spread throughout London like wildfire, leaving a trail of tragedy in her wake. Countless tales painted a grim portrait of her vicious presence, tied to miscarriages and a surge in infant mortality. The grief-stricken parents found solace only in their shared terror, seeking answers in the darkest recesses of the occult. But amongst the boundless darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of a lone, determined soul named Eliza, driven by her own personal loss at the hands of Abazu. Eliza dared to believe that she could harness the ancient knowledge hidden within forbidden texts and unlock the secrets of this monstrous female demon. With her heart heavy but steadfast, Eliza embarked on a treacherous journey, piecing together fragmented clues and deciphering cryptic symbols. The cold, cobblestone streets of London beckoned her forward, each step stirring the swirling mists that veiled the truth. As she delved deeper into London's occult underworld, she encountered the Forgotten Templars, the last remnants of an ancient order tasked with protecting humanity from evil. Eliza began to understand that Abazu's obsession with fertility and envy stemmed from a potent source of power that flowed through the city itself. As Eliza delved deeper into the abyss of darkness that clouded London's history, the city itself seemed to pulse with an evil energy. Every street corner whispered secrets, every decrepit building exuded a sense of dread. The shadows themselves came alive, whispering their warnings and temptations as Eliza continued her perilous quest. With each passing day, the city grew colder, the fog thicker, as if the very essence of Abazu seeped into every nook and cranny. Eliza's unwavering determination battled against the weight of the horrors she unraveled, threatening to consume her own sanity. Yet she pressed on, driven by a mix of vengeance and a desperate desire to free the city from the grip of this malevolent force. Unveiling the ancient texts and piecing together fragments of forbidden knowledge, Eliza uncovered the harrowing truth buried within London's pulsing heart. Abazu, formidable and twisted, was but a pawn entangled within a web of even darker forces. Forces that sought to wield the power splintered within the cursed city, harnessing it to reshape the fate of the world. What began as a quest for personal redemption transformed into a battle against the very fabric of evil itself. Guided by the old Templars, Eliza unearthed secrets of blood rituals, sacrificial altars hidden beneath London's iconic landmarks, she found herself entwined in a sinister dance with cultists and dark sorcerers, their malevolent gazes fixed upon her. Haunted by nightmarish visions, Eliza wondered if she had condemned herself to eternal damnation. Every terror she faced, every ounce of darkness she beheld, inched her closer to the edge of her soul's precipice. But she refused to surrender, believing that her inner light could still triumph even amidst the encroaching shadows. The city around her warped and twisted. Streets elongated and buildings turned to macabre structures of eerie grandeur. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, melding into a terrifying tapestry of despair. Eliza's allies became as unpredictable as the darkness they sought to conquer, their loyalties tested by the insidious influence of Abizu's essence. As fate hurtled towards an uncertain crossroads, Eliza embarked on a treacherous ritual, a last-ditch effort to confront Abizu, to sever the ties of darkness that choked London's very soul. Armed with ancient artifacts and a heart aflame with determination, she ventured into the heart of the abyss, unsure if she would emerge victorious or be consumed by the very evil she sought to eradicate. The fate of London, the fate of all those who had fallen victim to Abizu's curse, rested upon her shoulders. In this dance of death, Eliza knew there could be no turning back. Only by facing the monstrous demon head-on could she hope to reclaim the city, restore its tarnished light, and banish Abizu to the depths from which she had emerged. And so, as the moon reached its zenith, casting its cold light upon the forgotten corners of London, Eliza braced herself to confront her darkest fears, knowing that to emerge triumphant would exact a price, one that no soul could truly comprehend. The final battle between light and dark loomed, promising an ending that would etch itself into the very bones of London's history. As Eliza stood at the precipice of her final confrontation with Abizu, the terror thickened with a palpable malevolence. The ground beneath her feet trembled, emitting an eerie resonance that reverberated through her bones. Her determined gaze fixed upon the ancient, decrepit church that loomed ominously ahead. It was here, amidst the crumbling arches and broken stained glass, that the final battle was destined to unfold. The church, once a place of solace and worship, had now become a desecrated sanctuary of evil. The very walls seemed to writhe, pulsating in response to the dark presence lurking within. As Eliza took tentative steps forward, her heart pounded in her chest, matching the cadence of her trembling breaths. Pushing open the heavy, creaking doors, she was enveloped by an ethereal darkness, its suffocating embrace dragging her further into the abyss. The interior of the church had transformed into a twisted nightmare, a grotesque reflection of Abizu's consuming envy and fury. Shadows twisted and contorted upon the walls, taking on sinister forms of grotesque faces and elongated limbs. Sickly, phantasmal flames danced upon the pews and altar, casting distorted shadows that danced in a perverse ballet. The air reeked of sulfur and decay, each breath a corrosive assault upon her senses. Eliza, resolute in her purpose but fractured by fear, advanced cautiously through the macabre spectacle of the defiled church. Whispers chased her every step, disembodied voices bearing tales of torment and suffering. The tortured cries of the innocents she had sworn to protect echoed through the desecrated halls, their desperate pleas for salvation fueling her determination. As Eliza ventured deeper into the belly of the corrupted sanctuary, she could sense Abizu's presence growing stronger, its oppressive weight pressing down upon her shoulders. The demon, a twisted amalgamation of ethereal beauty and unspeakable horror, materialized before her like a nightmarish apparition, dressed in ebony robes that swirled with an otherworldly darkness. Abizu's eyes glowed with a malevolent hunger. A malevolent smile danced upon the demon's lips as it revealed rows of razor-sharp teeth, each glistening with an insidious hunger for Eliza's demise. It was then that Eliza understood the true depth of the darkness she had dared to challenge, the vastness of the abyss that threatened to consume her. Two forces collided within the desecrated church, a tempest of fury and resilience. Eliza, armed with ancient knowledge and unyielding resolve, faced off against Abizu, a creature born from the torment of a barren heart. Their battle raged with a ferocity that defied reality. Each strike of Eliza's blade met with the demonic entity's ethereal defenses, sending shockwaves of arcane power rippling through the cursed walls. As the cataclysmic clash of light and dark filled the corrupted sanctuary, the very foundation of London quivered, echoing the struggle unfolding within. The fate of the city teetered upon a precipice, teetering between liberation and eternal subjugation. In this battle of wills, only one would emerge triumphant. The question remained, whose? It was in the throes of that apocalyptic confrontation that London itself seemed to hold its breath. The city's very essence pulsed with a primordial energy, the clash of light and darkness threatening to unravel the fabric of existence. Eliza's determination grew with each strike, her resolve honed by the cries of the innocent and the weight of her own loss. As the confrontation raged on, the church contorted and twisted in response to the cataclysmic battle. Ancient stone cracked and shattered, collapsing in on itself, as if the very foundations of reality trembled under the force of this supernatural clash. The air became charged with potent magic, crackling with raw power that ignited the pews and melted the stained glass into grotesque, swirling vortexes. Abizu, fueled by a desperate fury born of envy, fought with a savage grace that belied her demonic nature. Her ethereal form shifted and writhed, her malevolence coalescing into whip-like tendrils that lashed out at Eliza, attempting to ensnare her and drag her into the abyss. But Eliza, scarred both physically and emotionally, refused to surrender. She summoned every ounce of strength within her, drawing upon the ancient knowledge she had painstakingly acquired. Her strikes became more precise and potent, each blow imbued with the light of hope and the desire for justice. As the duel between Abizu and Eliza intensified, the veil of darkness that had plagued London began to shatter. The malevolent presence that had plagued the city for centuries trembled in the face of Eliza's tenacity, her unwavering determination eroding the foundation upon which Abizu thrived. Yet, just as victory seemed within reach, an unexpected twist emerged from the very bowels of the corrupted church. From the shadows, a figure stepped forth, a cloaked man, his presence radiating a sinister authority. A malicious smile played upon his lips as he revealed himself to be the mastermind behind Abizu's resurrection, wielding powers that transcended the ordinary bounds of the mortal realm. This puppeteer of darkness, known only as Malachi, had orchestrated the tragedy that plagued London. His insidious machinations aimed at reaping the rewards of fear and suffering. Malachi, driven by his own twisted agenda, harnessed the amassed energy within the church, his eyes gleaming with diabolical glee. With a single wave of his hand, he unleashed a torrent of wicked arcane power, ensnaring both Abizu and Eliza within a lethal maelstrom. Thus, the fate of London hung in the balance, teetering between salvation and eternal damnation. In this final, terrifying climax, Eliza's resolve would be tested like never before, and the outcome would shape not only her own destiny, but also the destiny of an entire city. As screams and sorcery tore through the crumbling church, the darkness seemed to overpower hope. Yet the flicker of resilience within Eliza's eyes burned brighter, defying the encroaching abyss. With an unyielding spirit, she mustered the last embers of her strength, channeling the light of her purpose into a blinding burst of radiant energy. And that blinding brilliance, the story of Abizu and the cursed city of London reached its climactic crescendo. The echoes of the battle subsided, leaving behind only the eerie silence. of a city caught between nightmarish shadows and the flickering light of hope. But what fate befell Eliza, Abazu, and the malevolent orchestrator, Malachi, within that decimated church? Will London's twisted history find redemption or plunge even deeper into the abyss? Only whispers on the wind and the haunted streets hold the answers to this dark tale, a tale that will forever linger, a whisper of horrors and an echo of unresolved dread in the depths of London's collective nightmares.